All right, guys. So basically, this is part 2 of the twitch up snare. And once you've learned to practice this particular design of trap, this will take you only about 30 minutes to set up, and you can set a whole trap line of these up throughout the area. Now, we'll note these are baited twitch up snares. So if you don't have access to minnows and small frogs and some berries and stuff like that for the omnivore opossum and raccoon, and you can tailor these to individual animals. Of course, if you're trying to get coyotes and stuff like that, you're going to use meat, raw meat or cooked meat. So first things first, you want to cut the tip of the sapling off. And like I said, the sapling weight will vary depending on what you're trying to trap. My general rule for me is I'm trying to trap a 10-pound possum, raccoon, and I bend this, and I want to be able to bend it down to where there's at least 15 to 20 pounds of pressure on the sapling. So I'm going to bend it down, and as you can see, I'm going to line up 2 sticks. And like I said in the first video, if you have watched it, this is just simply demonstration of the traps. I'm not actually camouflaging the trap parts. I'm not actually descenting the trap parts. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to dig in 2 bits of sapling about 12 inches long, and use a rock or back of your hatchet to pound those into the ground where they're really sturdy in there. And you want about a good 7 to 8 inch gap between your actual distance between here. So the top of the sapling is going to fall right between. So let me put this right here. And what I've got is some sisal fiber or manila fiber. Of course, in a primitive situation, you're going to be using inner barks of trees, basswood, stuff like that, dog bane, yucca, anything you can actually find to use for this trap. Because remember, a 10 to 20 pound animal is going to be struggling big time, and you're going to want to have some sort of cordage material that's been well made, 2-ply, reverse wrap, anything of that nature that's going to be able to withstand the movement of the animal as it's struggling before it dies. So I've got this manila fiber, and I'm just breaking it down because it's got a 55-pound test on it. So let me just break this down. Got the sapling in the way, this little tree. And that's why I always carry a lot of natural fiber material with me versus a 550 paracord. Simply because you can tease it down. Just like 550, you can do the same thing. But I just prefer to use natural fibers, and they're already naturally camouflaged, so that comes in handy. So as I'm teasing this down so I can get a length of fiber, it's going to take another 30 seconds or so. And it's here in Houston, it's a pretty nice day. It's like 90 to 95 degrees out right now, so I'm sweating pretty bad, but I got this nice shaded area that's helping me out tremendously. Almost done, guys. Let me just get this out. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna cut a 8-inch length, about 10-inch length of fiber. And let me just move this closer if I can. I'm filming off an iPhone, so it's a little difficult. All right, if I can find my okay, so basically, like I said, we've tailored the sapling to where it comes down to a certain point. We've got 2 fixtures about 8 inches across from each other, and they're in the ground about 6 to 8 inches, so that they're very durable. They won't come out of the ground. Next thing we're going to do, and I want to reiterate, this is just demonstration of the trap. We're not actually camouflaging, we're not actually descenting. We're going to take our fiber, I'm going to make a small slip knot. Now I'm going to run this sapling across the 2 bars that are sticking out of the ground. I'm going to secure those I'm going to secure it with this natural fiber as best as I can. And as you can see, one of the sticks already came out, but that's fine. I can pound it in a little bit deeper later on. Same thing, I'm going to take another length of fiber, use my knife, my piece of flint, whatever you got, cut that, and I'm going to secure the second bar right here. I can get this camera to stay up. Just use a slip knot. And as you can see, the natural fiber, the manila fiber, blends in really well. So, you know, all it would take is a little bit of mud and some charcoal to get that even more camouflaged. And like I said, guys, if you can check out my old YouTube channel, it's just Aaron Luna, you'll see the effectiveness of this trap. Okay. So we've got our crossbar, and what I'll do is I'll use my hatchet to kind of pound these in a bit better. Sorry for the camera shaking. So I use that hatchet to kind of pound it in. So next thing I'm going to do is find my piece. Just 1 second, guys. So what you're going to want to do is get another section of, here, I realized that leaf was in the front of the camera, is get another section of material, and I'm going to cut that. I want it about 8 inches long. It could be a small sapling, about 1/2 inch in diameter. And as you start to practice trapping, you'll learn, almost like an engineer, you'll start to feel what's right and what's wrong. It's just practice. This is just a basic demonstration as to what to use for it. Let me just go ahead and like I said before, never carve your trap parts on site. You want to make sure you do all this at your camp or wherever else at. So what you're going to want to do is for about 8 to 10 inches in front of the crossbar. So from down here, from this section here, about 8 to 10 inches out, you're going to want to put this pound this into the ground. Okay, so we got that situated. Next thing we're going to do is get a trigger stick, very similar to the Paiute deadfall. We want it relatively thin so that it's a very sensitive trap. Just give me 1 second. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and cut this video short, and then I'll show you how to set up the trigger stick. Alright guys.